You laid out the workout clothes, you bought that new $12 journal from Target, you set the alarm, and you told yourself this time it'll stick. And by Wednesday, that version of yourself, the version that you promised would finally make those changes, is gone. Because by Friday, you're sitting in bed, door dashing in one hand, and in the other, Googling how to be disciplined. And here's what nobody is telling you: you don't have a discipline problem, you have a bar problem. You're listening to How to Live with Care. This is the show about becoming who you're trying to be without pretending the process is clean. Today was the first day and the longest time that I actually completed my goal of journaling. For the longest time, I have always wanted to do a daily journal. Growing up, I was in a lot of therapy, and that's like one of the first things that they always tell you to do is the journal. They give you that composition notebook and they say, go on here, put the date, write a journal, say how you feel, what you did, just put down whatever you want. So that way you're not having like a freak out and thinking, oh my gosh, my entire life is horrible, because now you have real data that you can go back and look on and be like, oh, okay, last week actually wasn't that bad. I was actually in a good mood. My entire life doesn't suck. Okay, I can finally pull myself back in here. And in theory, it actually does work really well. And there's some times where I will go months where I journal every single day, and then I'll completely forget that I have a journal. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to start this again. And then I go to Target and I drop another $15 on a brand new journal. And then by the end of the year, I have like 4 journals that I've only written like 4 prompts in sitting in my nightstand. But today I was actually successful and I felt really good about myself too. I had a lot of clarity. I woke up and I didn't immediately scroll on my phone. I actually left my phone on my nightstand and I got up and I did my daily morning routine, and then I sat on the balcony and looked out into the sun and wrote in my journal, and it felt freaking amazing is what it felt like. It felt amazing. But I'm sure by tomorrow I will completely abandon this very healthy ritual and I'll go right back to doing the wrong thing. And then like 2 weeks from now I'll do it again. It's just over and over again. It's just a cycle. Start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Because I wake up one day a week where I'm feeling great. I have all this motivation and I tell myself I am going to journal every single day for the rest of my life. And that will finally change the game. That will make me feel like I am winning at life. Like I am finally doing something with my life. And then I forget like on day 3 and I completely spiral, and it's just a whole thing, you know? And I see this everywhere. I talk with my girlfriends about this, it's about working out or eating healthy or not drinking alcohol or the journal. It's always about a freaking journal. And today I was outside and I was questioning, why is this so difficult for me? Why is it so difficult for me to do such a small daily habit that is known to actually help me? And it was boggling my mind. I'm like, why am I struggling so hard at this? I suck at everything. And I went down that spiral once again while thinking about how I spiral. It was super meta. It was crazy. But I like wrote down some things and I was like, oh, I had like that epiphany moment. So, I had to share with you guys here on why we keep failing and feeling horrible about ourselves and what we can actually do to change it next time. And I want to give us a different diagnosis because I think that this new framework will change everything. So we've been told over and over again that whenever you fail a new habit you're trying to do, your discipline sucks, your willpower sucks, your motivation sucks, you're a horrible person, and then you just go down that spiral. I mean, you see it online all the time. I'm not going to name names on specific people that do that, but I'm sure as you're listening to this, you could think of like 3 or 4 or 5 people where you get on there and they're like, hey, if you didn't wake up today and you did this morning, then you suck and you're a horrible human being. Oh, you're disgusting. I'm successful and you're not. You suck and you're always gonna suck. And it's just like they're yelling at you, telling you that you suck all the time because you can't stay to this very unattainable goal like immediately right off the bat. And I will give them some grace. I will say that some people do need that. Some people function very well off of that. Like my boyfriend Chris, he will like have a day where he kind of relaxes a little bit and he'll come across one of those videos and he's like, you know what? Hell yeah. hell yeah, I'm being fucking lazy. And he'll get up and he'll like immediately get right back to work. Like there's no spiral, there's no nothing. It's like he like light bulb wakes up and boom, he's right back at it. And I'm very proud of him for that. And one day I will be that way. But until then, I am going to accept that that stuff does not work for me. And I'm going to try and find something that actually does work for me. And if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, those videos do not work for me too. Okay, I am here. I'm going to give you a new diagnosis. And I'm going to tell you, the people that this stuff does not work on, that the diagnosis that if you fail a healthy habit, that means that your motivation, your willpower, your discipline, all of that sucks. I'm going to say that that diagnosis is wrong. I'm going to say it's wrong. And I'm going to say that you relying on that diagnosis is the reason why you feel so broken every single time you fail to complete a goal. And I'm going to give you guys a new diagnosis. And the new diagnosis is your bar is set way too high right off the bat. The expectation bar that you have set for yourself for whatever goal this may be is set way too high, and that is your first problem. You don't have a willpower problem, you have a bar problem. And I'm going to give you guys a few examples here so you kind of get the idea of what I'm thinking. So, say you want to start journaling. You're going to set a goal. I'm going to journal every day for the rest of my life, and I will not miss a single day ever. Or say that you want to work out. You say, I'm going to work out 6 days a week, even though I have never worked out consistently before. 6 days a week, no matter what, no breaks, no rest, no excuses. Or say that you want to start eating healthy and you have like somewhat of a bad diet, you've tried diets and you're like, oh, it doesn't work. And then you set this new goal of, I am never going to eat fast food ever again in my entire life. I am only going to cook food myself with ingredients, and that's it. Ever, no mistakes. And you just create these like one extreme to the other. Like, I'm not doing something at all to I am going to do it every single day without excuse. And if I mess up or I miss one day, I'm a failure and I have not completed my goal. It's like we have to go from one extreme to the other. So if that sounds like you, then keep listening because we're going to fix that. I'm going to give you guys a little clarity here on what is actually going on. Because when you go on the internet or you see somebody else that you look up to and you're like, oh, they do this goal every day. Oh, why can't I do that? I'm going to set this extreme goal for myself that I probably can't do, but I'm going to set it anyways because I have to prove something to myself and to these other people. That's your ego talking. That is the character that you have created in your brain that you think you need to be like. And if you are not like that, then you are a failure of a human being. That is what is speaking right there. Your ego, not who you really are, your ego. And at that point, it no longer becomes about the reason why you're even doing it in the first place. It only becomes about these external reasons as to why of, oh, if I work out every single day, then I will look fit and everybody will look up to me and I will look superior to other people because I can work out every day and I'm stronger and healthier than other people. Because you go from one extreme to the other, and then by the time you're like a week in, day 5, day 6, you're like, oh, I don't see the results yet. I guess I should just give up. Because you're just so focused on the end result of what you're trying to do on this extreme level and an external motivation that really doesn't have much to do with you in the first place. And then you're sitting there questioning as to why it never worked. Like, come on. It just doesn't make sense. But it's super easy to fall into. We see it everywhere. I do it myself. I've done it with journaling. I've done it with working out. I've done it with eating healthy. I mean, right now I've been doing that with alcohol. I told myself I am never drinking ever again. Everybody thinks that after a bad hangover. I am never drinking ever again. And then you hang out with your friend and you want to have like a glass of wine or something and you feel like the worst person on the planet ever. And like you deserve absolutely nothing great in life because you decided to have that glass of wine. Even though I could have set my bar a little bit lower and then slowly worked up to where I would actually like to be and where I think I should be because of what I want for myself rather than what I think I should do because of X, Y, and Z outside of me. So we're going to take whatever habit this is and we're going to rewrite it. We're going to rewrite it in our brain. We're going to rewire our brain on how we think we should go about building a habit if those extreme videos and extreme thought patterns do not work for you. So, as you're listening to this, I'm sure that you've probably been thinking of a habit, or maybe you have a habit, and that's why you clicked on this video in the first place. While I'm speaking right now, I want you to think of that habit, and I want you to pick that habit, at least before this video is over. Pick the habit. And I know that you're probably like, oh, there's like 7 things in my head that I need to change about myself. I'm going to pick every single one. No, we're only picking one. You're only going to pick one. You're going to put them in a list, and you're going to say, this is the one that's most important. You're going to pick that one, and we're going to work with that one right now. And then once you get to a good point with that one, where you're like sustainable and you're actually holding that habit to where it doesn't feel like a chore doing it, then you can pick another habit, and then so on. We're going super slow. We're going slow here. The bar is in hell, you guys. And that's where we are. The bar is in hell. So you're going to pick that one thing, and you are going to imagine the most pathetic, lazy version of yourself. I am extremely and violently hungover right now, and I could still do this. You are going to pick that version of yourself, and you are going to imagine what you could do of that habit in that state of being. So, say you want to journal. Instead of saying, I'm going to journal every single day, you're going to pick the lowest version of what journaling is, which is I'm going to type at least 3 words into my notes app every single day. And you are going to take that new habit. I'm going to write 3 words in my notes app every single day, and you are going to do that every single day for a week. And there's going to be some days that you're going to want to do more, but do not do more. Do the bare minimum. You are only doing the bare minimum, because this bare minimum here is to show you that you can do it. It is to finally instill that confidence in yourself that, hey, I can make a change. I have the power to make a change. I just need to make these changes slowly. And that's okay too, because sometimes change takes time, and I'm not going to see the results right away. And that's going to be really difficult for me. But I know that I am making consistent change over time, and that is good enough for me, because eventually I will feel the results of this change. And that's what you're going to hold on to for a full week. We are collecting data. We are collecting evidence. Because we don't want to think of our life in absolutes, you guys. I don't want to sit here and think I journaled every day for the rest of my life and think that about myself. I want to say I enjoy writing because it clears my mind, and I get to do it extremely often. And I have built this amazing habit of doing so. Or say that you want to work out. You don't want to say, I worked out for exactly 2 hours every single day for the rest of my life. You want to be able to say, I work out because I love being strong, and I love feeling healthy, and I love lifting a weight, or I love going for a run. And because of that, I do it every single day. So it no longer becomes about, oh, did I do this today? And it becomes more about, I got to do this today because I love to do it and I enjoy it. We are building sustainable habits here. We're not trying to give ourselves a huge makeover for whatever reason. And if you still at this point think that you need to make that one extreme version of yourself or the other, I really want you to take a step back now, pause the video, and think to yourself, why do I feel the need to make this extreme makeover? What am I avoiding? What am I running away from? What is it about this that I am truly trying to change? Because at that point, it really is no longer about that small habit you're trying to change. It's something deeper within yourself that's really bothering you. And these like extreme like cycles and changes aren't going to do anything for that. And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's okay. I've been there. Most people are inclined to skip straight to that dream version of themselves. Because most people, when they're trying to build healthier habits or they're trying to grow into a better version of themselves, they skip straight to the dream version of them, and they try to apply every single thing to their life that would make them that dream version. And right then, before they've even had the opportunity to try and make those changes, they've already failed, because they're not creating a sustainable habit. They're creating a dream. They're not creating their reality. They're creating a fantasy dream world. And that's where you need to reel it back in, examine it, and start over. If this is your 12th time trying to journal, if this is your 12th time trying to work out, this is your 12th time trying to go on a walk every single day or eat healthy, I don't care what it is. Whatever it may be, if it has been 12 times of failing, I am here to tell you that's not actually a failure. Those are 12 data points that you have constructed how to go about the process of creating this habit incorrectly. It's just data and it's just evidence, and insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting something different when in reality, you could just change the process and actually get those results that you want. So I'm going to give you guys your weekly homework. Homework. This is all choice. This is participation. You are not being forced to do anything here. Here is your homework for the week. I want you to pick one thing that you're failing at. Not 2, not 3, 1. And I want you to write it down. And then I want you to imagine in your mind the worst version of yourself. Whatever you are capable of doing of that habit in that worst version of yourself, I want you to write that down underneath it. Say you want to start working out more often. You are now going to make a goal of, I'm going to walk for at least 5 minutes every single day. And I know you're probably like, oh my God, like 5 minutes, that's nothing. I could do at least 20. I could do at least 30. No. Remember, we're setting the bar low. If you're feeling embarrassed and you're feeling silly, that's fine. But if you're going to let that feeling of embarrassment and silliness keep you from actually making a change that'll really work because of some imaginary person potentially finding out that this is your process, then again, that's your ego. Anyways, you are going to take that version of your goal and you are going to do that for 2 weeks straight. For 2 weeks straight, you are going to do that goal. And if you are able to do that exact thing, nothing less, nothing more, for 2 weeks straight, then you can add more to it. Say you want to start reading more often. You're going to read 1 page a day for 2 weeks, 1 page. If you can do that for 2 weeks, now you're reading 2 pages, and then 3 pages, and then 4 pages. These are building blocks to creating healthy, sustainable habits that make us feel good about ourselves in the long run, too, because we are enjoying each step of the process towards creating this goal. We are enjoying every step of the habit. We are enjoying every step of the journey that gets us to this quote end goal of the habit, that by the time you get to that quote end goal you made originally, you're not even going to be thinking about that being an end goal. That's just going to be your new expectation for yourself, which I'm going to start doing this too with journaling every day. I'm going to make a new notes app on my phone called Pathetic Hungover Version, and I'm going to write a sentence every day for 2 weeks. And I think I can do it. I believe in myself. I'm confident. I'm pretty sure that I could do that too. And we're going to work our way back up. So you guys are not alone in this. I promise you. Awesome. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that little spiel there, and I really hope you guys do take advantage of my homework that I give you guys. And I just want you guys to remember, you've never failed at starting. You've failed at calibrating, and there is a huge difference. You've been making this so much harder than it needs to be, because somewhere along the way, someone sold you a story about willpower and discipline that made you feel broken every time you couldn't do the thing. And I'm here to remind you, you are not broken. The bar was too high. Lower it, clear it, raise it, and do that over and over again. And that's it. That's the whole thing, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember to always live with care.